Jax, a most unexpected visitor to our holy halls. Is it fate that in these troubled times you have found your way back to us?
Again we meet with dark clouds hanging over us. Little has changed since we took up arms against our common enemy.
At that time, you spoke of mankind's impending doom, and of those who would cause it. It shames me to think of how little heed I gave your wise words.
Forget it. I've had moments of doubt myself.
And out there, the invaders build their towers of destruction. Exactly what you tried to warn us of.
Actions are what count. We must think about our future. How to destroy this enemy.
That's exactly what we're doing. Now the wounds inflicted upon us have healed. We have rallied ourselves and are planning our resurgence.
I was hoping you could help me. I need some better gear, and some good instructors in the art of armed combat.
I see. You've lost a great deal of the strength you once had. The war against the Alps took a great deal from all of us, and the situation seems liable to get worse in the future, not better.
That war was 6 years ago. It's not a problem anymore. I was bitten by one of the invaders' dark creatures, infected with their plague. It crippled many of my combat skills. I need to work on them again, from scratch.
I wish I could help you, but in these dark days, I have to think about my own faction. We have neither the resources nor the time to train you, or to share our weapons.
That is unfortunate.
To us, you are an outsider. We must focus on our own survival, and that means holding on to every last scrap we have.
I believe you're trying to talk me into joining the clerics.
That would be one way to solve this dilemma. Though, from the look of you, you'd have to start your training with the basics. And that isn't something the clerics can afford to offer you. We simply can't spare the manpower or the relevant supplies. That's my final word, I'm afraid. We won't be able to give you basic training in our weapons technology.
Could you suggest an alternative?
Our approach to combat closely resembles that of the Alps to the north. If you want to join us, I suggest you go to them first. They can teach you the basics.
You want me to train with your enemies?
They're not the only ones who would rather see us dead. These last few months, many evils have come to torment us. The Alps are the least of our worries. When you've completed your basic training, we can talk again about your initiation into the cleric community.
As an Alp commander, my specialty was Elex abilities. My repertoire didn't include other weapons until much later.
Then it's those abilities you should start improving. They will make you a valuable asset to the clerics.
I'll be returning to you as an Alb. You're okay with that?
That is what you were in the first place. Once you've learned the fundamentals of high-tech weaponry, speak to Judicator Hagen. He'll be able to answer your questions. We all have burdens to bear. Wish you every success on the rest of your journey.
Huh. You and I have met before. Where have I seen that face?
We met in the Hort.
Right, in the Horde. I trained a lot of recruits there. You know, back when it was still in one piece. Finding a single half-decent recruit is a near impossible task. So I'll get to the point. Are you gonna help us out or not?
It depends. What do you want from me?
To be honest, quite a lot. But I'll take that as a yes. Look, anyone who works for me gets food, shelter, and fair pay for a day's work. Think it over. My door is always open. You'll find me a fair boss. I always speak my mind, even if I do seem a little blunt at times. Take this. Use it to pick up your...
Thank you, but that isn't necessary. We can take care of ourselves.
Hey.
Of course. No problem at all. Any other questions? Simple. Go where help is needed. Then help. As far as I'm concerned, that's all it takes for me to treat you as a cleric.
That's it?
I'm a soldier. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I can't provide you with a uniform, though. We are all out of those.
You're kidding me.
No. Our armorer offers the standard protective gear, but no uniforms. The only one left is a Regent's uniform, and I'm not giving that to you.
Why not?
Well, more accurately, I'm not giving it to you yet. You'll have to earn it, and that won't be easy. If the armor's really what you want, you need to gain access to the Alps.
Infiltrate them.
Right. I told you it wouldn't be easy. I'll also tell you why this is so important to us. Ever since they began occupying Ignadon, the Alps have left us in peace. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee they'll keep that up. Nor. So I like to be as informed as possible. It's not enough to be one of their scouts. Gain the rank of trooper, and then we'll talk.
Very good. Not now.
Request. Analyze it. Main. Request confirmation of original action plan.
You mean to prepare Magellan for the imminent threat of the Aware?
Acknowledged.
Do you see what's going on here? I'd say it's too late for that now. Looks like their invasion is underway.
Acknowledged. Please confirm Aware and invading force are same enemy.
They have to be, right? That's just my guess. I don't know for sure.
Comprehensive strategic scan recommended.
Yeah, just as soon as I know more about what we're dealing with.
Stand by.
Copy that.
Environmental scan initiated. Large amount of debris detected.
Don't move. Who are you? What are you... Wait a moment. Tell me, stranger, what's your name?
Name's Jax.
Then I wasn't mistaken. Amazing. I heard you were dead. Is it true you defeated the hybrid with your bare hands?
Yeah, he never stood a chance.
Your efficiency is the stuff of legend. But facing the hybrid without a weapon? That is amazing. My name's Radek, by the way. Azok will want to know you're here.
Oh yeah? What else have people been saying about me?
Not just the good stuff, that much is certain. But there'll be time for that later. First, there are a few things you should know. A lot has changed since the depot was set up. Come on, I'll show you around. Looks like your drone disapproves.
He's just worried that you're gonna reset his systems.
That will not happen. We are focused on other things. Shall we go?
Well, the tour can't hurt.
Come on, let's go. Follow me. Are you planning on staying?
We'll see. Why?
You see, the thing is, you're not exactly popular here. Many among us want you dead for what you did to the hybrid. Speaking of dead, we're in luck. There's an execution today. We really don't want to miss that.
The verdict has been passed. Unlawful efficiency has been proven beyond reasonable doubt. The defendant has accepted the judgment. Execute the convicted party. Good work. You know the drill. Pick up your posts as soon as you're done.
I was wondering how long they were going to let him get away with his behavior. Next, we'll head on over to our research facility.
What? So that's it? He was just killed?
His inefficiency sealed his fate.
What were his crimes?
Anyone who violates the directive is executed. Simple as that. That seems to shock you? You must remember the directive and what it says.
I do. I guess not as much has changed as I thought it had.
Is that pity in your voice? Interesting. I've heard you've let your emotions run wild. Let's walk and talk about it. Don't think that we have no emotions. We were forced to accept that being emotionless didn't help our evolutionary development. It blinded us. It made it possible for someone like you to almost bring us down. That's why everyone is given only as much Elex as they need to do their job as effectively as possible. Right now, we're standing in front of the Computing and Research Center. This is where the optimal level of Elex consumption is calculated, among other things.
What is the optimal amount, then?
That depends on your assignment. A tactician who doesn't fear for his troops won't be an effective tactician. On the other hand, a guard who's afraid of killing is not an efficient guard. The middle way seems to be the best choice.
So you only try to suppress emotions when they're getting in the way?
That's right. And those are our new rules for Elex consumption. And when it comes to making these calculations, this research facility is particularly good. Now, if you have no more questions, I have something else to show you. Follow me.
You were talking about an experiment. What should I expect?
We're trying to breed children who...
Hang on. You're doing what?
We're creating a new generation of rationally thinking tacticians. Let's go into the classroom and have a quick listen. Maybe we can learn something.
The lesson from last time should still be within easy recall. We will practice it again today. Sit down. Good. Now, remember yesterday's practice. Concentrate.
Teacher?
No questions, Makar. Do not make me repeat myself. Feel the emotion welling up inside you. Remember last week's punishment. Feel the fury it caused rise inside you. If it threatens to overwhelm you, try focusing on the equations we learned yesterday. Were you able to call up the anger? If so, I want you to give me the solution to the problem. If not, we'll repeat last week's punishment. Inefficiency will not be tolerated. Practice at home, then complete a 3-page report on your emotional stability indices. Makar, I especially want to see yours. I'm concerned about your progress. Improve.
Yes, ma'am.
Session complete. You can go.
As you can see, the kids here are thriving. The Elex experiments seem to be going well.
You're giving kids Elex?
No, we're experimenting with not giving the kids any Elex, teaching them to think logically and precisely without it. Most Albs never learn to handle emotion. Without Elex, many of us are completely at the mercy of our feelings. That's what we're trying to prevent from happening with these children. They're taught how to deal with emotions without neglecting their efficient thinking.
Without Elex, they're nothing more than normal people, aren't they?
No. As soon as they're of age, they'll be given their daily Elex rations like everyone else. According to our calculations, with access to Elex, emotionally strengthened Albs should be able to reach the next stage of evolution.
What makes you think this could work?
Because it worked in the past. With you. You were an Alb and managed to keep your emotions under control. We suspect that's the only reason you were able to stand up to the hybrid. We're studying this phenomenon and trying to recreate it so we can perfect it. But if you want to know more, you should talk to our scientists. Let's keep going. We are about to enter the Collector's sector. They're responsible for finding Elex and bringing it to the silos. It's not particularly demanding. The Collectors who live here don't need to be especially efficient. So they only get low doses of Elex, which makes them prone to uncontrolled emotional outbursts. If it were up to me, we wouldn't let them stay in the depot. We'd ship them out somewhere. Let's keep going. I don't like being around these people. Follow me. You might have noticed that back here, it's much more disorganized. Not like the rest of the depot. The Collectors and their lifestyle is a source of friction. If you're not careful, you might even end up getting robbed. It wouldn't have happened in the Hybrid's day. Luckily, we're now out of the Collector's sector again. Right here, we're entering the Soldiers' area. Things are a lot more orderly here. These guys make difficult decisions, so they get correspondingly larger rations of Elex. And you can stock up on decent weapons here, too.
You allow trading in the depot?
We do now. Trade has helped us to create a kind of reward system for effective action. We pay our workers with Elexit. They use it to buy things that help them work more efficiently. It seems to motivate them. But you can take a look at all that later. Right now, I'm gonna take you to Azok. Come on. That's the agent's precinct up there. Their job is to keep an eye on the Collectors and everyone else. They make sure everyone takes their Elex ration and that nobody takes more or less. They keep an eye on things and keep everybody in line. I hope this has helped you get an idea of how the depot works, and that your return to our ranks won't be too tricky.
We'll see.
Once an Alb, always an Alb. This is where you belong. I'll leave it up to you. May efficiency guide your actions.
High concentrations of Elex detected. Mining recommended.
I don't think the Albs would like that very much.
I did not anticipate your return. State your business immediately.
Am I supposed to know who you are?
I am Alexiter Azok, Guardian of the new directive, responsible for the depot. Now answer my question.
Circumstances force my hand.
Circumstances? The description seems inadequate. But if you're willing to assist us, I will tolerate it. You have amends to make.
Wait, you're not kicking me out?
What my people think of you is a matter for them. But it's because of you that we recognize the value of emotion and increased our efficiency. So I am neutral towards you personally, but I will have my agents watch you closely as long as you're here. If you break our rules, you will face sanction.
What's the situation here?
These new enemies are putting considerable pressure on us. Keeping them in check ties up resources and creates gaps in our organizational structure. Bridging those gaps will be your responsibility. Seek out Commander Arissa. She is at a breaking point and needs assistance. But expect no welcome from her. She still considers you a traitor. If your work for her is satisfactory, I will consider allowing you to rejoin us. You are getting a second chance. Very few do. Do not disappoint me. Come back later.
You dare just show up? We won't tolerate filthy traitors here.
Traitor? The fuck are you talking about?
You know full well. You brought down the hybrid. You destroyed the converters. You killed our people. If permitted, I would execute you where you stand.
There was no future with the hybrid. Not for anyone. I did what needed to be done.
You think you had the right to decide that?
If you want to execute me, do it already. But what would be the point? You're all doing just fine as far as I can tell.
Threat identified. Calculating defensive measures.
Deactivate your language module or I'll have you melted. And now back to you. Your judgment is as substandard as your character. Our supply of Elex is pitiful. We've lost half our territory. The fight against the new invaders is tying up valuable resources.
And you think that's my fault?
I know it is. Just so you know, I've been tasked to protect us all from harm. And you're making it difficult to tolerate your presence.
I've never seen you this mad, Arissa.
That's not what we're talking about. But why do you think that is?
If you've got such a problem with me, why are we even talking? Tell your agents to pull the trigger.
And go against Azok? I don't think so. In any event, a quick death is too good for you.
You expect me to just disappear?
I'm giving you a choice. Sneak off like you did before, or find a way to fix the harm you caused. If it's the former, stop wasting my time and leave.
Where's my help needed?
Go to the crater. Find out if someone named Skibor is alive or dead.
What's the point of that?
I asked for help, not questions. You'll have to earn answers, let alone trust. Now do what I told you. Find Skibor. If he's alive when you get there, keep him that way.
another player in the great game of Magellan. I see your path has returned you to these icy climes once more. It has been some time.
Kar Akram, if I'm not mistaken.
You still know my name. That is, interesting. We so rarely had the pleasure, after all.
You were a scout for the Ice Palace? You were quite the traveler back then.
I never fully abandoned the work, you know. Although I am no simple scout these days.
You're being modest. I hear you're the first Alexander, the highest spiritual leader of the Alps.
You, the beast of Zakor, can call me Ekram.
It's been a while since I was called that. It doesn't fit me anymore.
And yet, you still follow the path of your former people. There must be a reason for that, surely. I assume you are here because of the invaders ravaging our planet.
There are a lot of things I have to take care of.
Well, that is interesting indeed. What can I do to aid you in your efforts?
You could put in a good word for me with the Alps.
I could do that, but your own decisions are what brought you here. If you can win our people over, convince them of your cause, whatever that might be, then you will have earned it. If not, however...
I understand.
I can only give you a piece of fatherly advice. Be consistent in all you do. A fickle man is never as effective or as admired as a stalwart soldier in single-minded pursuit of a goal.
What do you plan to do about the foreign invaders?
At the moment, we Albs are in the worst strategic position of all the Magellan peoples. And we are not as well equipped as the invaders. That means we are likely to be their first target. We must be vigilant. We must track the invaders' every move. That is one of the reasons I spend so much time in the depot at the moment.
That's it? Vigilance? I expected more from you. Haven't you got a plan?
Don't confuse my not sharing a plan with you with the absence of a plan. I hardly need remind you that you've proven problematic for the Albs more than once. Prove you deserve the respect of our people. Perhaps if you do so, I will
You're leader of the Alps. Aren't you worried walking around outside the depot without protection?
I am an Elexitor of the Alps. If I cannot... And one more thing. The invaders are ferocious and determined opponents. If you value your life, you do well to steer clear of Maracor. They are most active there.
I don't have time for you right now.
storeroom is property of the Albs of Ignadon. Entry is strictly forbidden to anyone without proper authorization.
You don't take any prisoners, huh?
When it comes to preserving my people, there is only one directive. And you clearly violated it.
All right, let's just relax. What are you doing here?
I'm Naira. I'm in charge of our batteries.
So you're like, what, security?
Security? No, that's not exactly what I'm doing here.
Hang on a minute. Don't I know you from somewhere?
Yes, you do. We met in the domed city in Abessa. I was the only good technician in that cleric settlement. Remember? I was a separatist. It was a long time ago. The rules are different now.
Huh. Yeah, I noticed. How'd you get here?
I lost my home back when I was a separatist. I didn't know what to do. I ended up in the domed city, working as a technician for the clerics. I was doing that when we met. I survived. I even made good money. But it was a life of compromise. I often did things that went against my convictions. Those days are gone.
You're pretty impulsive for someone raised by the Albs.
I am a true Alb again now. There are consequences to that.
And anybody who doesn't do things how you like them gets hit in the head a few times.
You know better than anyone what Elex withdrawal can do. The fight against extreme emotion can be incredibly hard on us.
Fine. I accept your apology.
There has to be a life without Elex. It's the only way we can get our senses under control. That's why I try to stop our Elex as often as I can.
As long as I'm not around when you do. You seem to know me well.
Well, you were a major figure in the court at the Ice Palace. It was a long time ago. But you were under the direct authority of the Hybrid, weren't you?
Pretty dark chapter in my career.
Nonetheless, I still didn't recognize you back then in the domed city. Yet more proof that Blue Elex clouds our senses without us knowing it.
There's a new group in Caracas. It calls itself the Sixth Power. Its members have gathered in the old bastion to fight off the invaders.
Why are you telling me this?
You'd be a suitable candidate to join. If you can control your mood swings.
And how do you know I don't sympathize with these alien invaders?
I don't think you'd give up control of your existence entirely. Your expertise and fighting skill would be valuable to the Sixth Power. And to me.
You could be right. I have to admit, your offer has some appeal. I wouldn't be entirely against it. However...
What are your duties?
In essence, I am committed to the preservation of our community. My role is evaluation of the secret strategic plans of the other factions. This information would give us an incredible advantage.
Who exactly do you mean when you say us? People in general or just the Albs?
Does it matter?
What happens when there's a conflict between the two?
That's irrelevant. Don't tell me that the Sixth Power wouldn't benefit immensely. If a conflict did arise, the situation would need to be reassessed.
Oh. Well, you've obviously thought this through.
No. But I'll have to do so if it actually comes to that.
However, you must admit there is a risk that our agreement may not last long.
That's always a danger, no matter what the current arrangement is.
Sounds exciting.
It sounds exciting? Wouldn't it make more sense to wait until you know whether it leads to such an emotion?
Oh, not entirely against it. The hell does that mean?
You were once an idol to us all. You were the most effective commander the Albs ever had. But that was long ago. You and the Free People have fought a war against us.
I was acting on my own account. That's true. But it wasn't as if I had a choice. The hybrid would have thrown the Albs to their doom.
Relying on the promises of the hybrid was a big mistake. But if everything had gone according to plan and the directive,
then sooner or later the hybrid would have put all of Magellan's creatures into the converters to snatch the Elex from them. As a separatist, you fought for the old values of the Albs and against the hybrid. So you should know better, Naira. No one could have survived that, not even the Albs. The Free People and I had to intervene to stop the worst from happening.
Strange hearing that from your mouth, but who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe not. I'm not sure it matters. Like I said, those days are long gone.
How exactly is this gonna work? Obtaining the secret, strategic plans of other factions.
Why are you so interested?
Well, while you're rotting here in your camp, you really won't be able to get a hold of anything. You're gonna have to leave the depot. And once you're outside, you'll need help if you want to get anywhere.
I see. And you're the one that's going to help?
Why not? I help you, and you become my comrade in arms.
I would need to think about that first.
I don't have much time. Answer me now.
I'll think about it.
Fine. I don't want to rush you, but...
You assure me that you'll ask nothing of me that could harm my people?
I can't promise you that. We're in a war for the survival of mankind.
A general but honest answer. I understand. All right. I'll take my chances. Listen to what I'm planning. We've noticed a few outlaws watching the depot. They're almost certainly gathering intel on our HQ and making strategic attack plans. I want those plans. I need to find out what the outlaws know so I can protect our people from them. If you want to keep your word and support me, then this is your opportunity.